video games. No, I had to go ahead and get me like a little quick snack. It was one of those little chocolate wafer snacks. Man, it tastes good. Anyway, it's a chocolate peanut butter wafer snack. Alright, so yeah, I had to go get me something quick to bite on. So I gotta get me something to eat after I'm done.
Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
Hello and welcome to the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play. I am Lord Gamerman of this lounge. Here, I got something for you. It's a video game classic. Let's get right on going. Gaming of today is taking a crap. Might as well step back and go retro. Video game preservation is a big damn deal. All the games you missed out in the past. Let's take a look at all the treasures on carts and discs. Maybe someone will bring them to today for a second chance. But hey, this is Insert Channel Name here, and welcome to the archival of games of the past. Let's go retro with video game classics. Just so you know, I had to go through the mental gymnastics of coming up with this intro. So for crying out loud, please appreciate it. Welcome to Video Game Classics, and today we're going to be talking about a game that came before Steam. Before Steam, Valve Software made a game. It would take Game of the Year and would spawn a sequel, and spawn a sequel part 1 and a part 2. But we don't know where episode 3 is, and we don't know where the third one is. It is the way that it is. And, however, it did got a VR game, Half-Life Alyx. Oh, whoops, did a dead giveaway there, but yeah, we're talking about Half-Life 1. Half-Life 1, it got an anniversary update, alright, with an additional content. It's essentially the Half-Life Uplink demo campaign that you play on before Half-Life releases. So yeah, they added that, and there was added content, had its anniversary. We did talk about that in a news video, but yeah, I figured, okay, let's go ahead and talk about Half-Life 1, because Half-Life 1 is a really big damn deal, and if you really want my honest opinion here, I've been more fond of this game, and I have been eagerly awaiting a third entry. It is the way that it is, but hey. Half-Life 1 has you playing as Gordon Freeman. Gordon Freeman is essentially a scientist who ends up working at the Black Mesa. And, of course, one day, Gordon ended up tackling on an experiment that gone horribly wrong. It ends up creating a serious situation that causes, let's say, unforeseen consequences that end up affecting the entire lab. And, things don't get very pretty. It's now turned into a situation of survive, figure out what's going on, and probably consider escaping, but later in the story you do get hit with a dilemma. And not only that, speaking of dilemmas, the military, they're here, but they're not here to rescue you. They're here to shoot everyone on sight and try to cover things up. It is what it is. So yeah, you're surviving a crisis that befell upon the Black Mesa Research Facility, and you're having to basically figure things out from left and right in terms of platforming, dealing with extraterrestrial mutations and monstrosities that are going after you. Of course, deal with some more crazy first-person platforming shenanigans, solve puzzles from left and right, and of course, find all the shortcuts taking you back to more resources should you need, and if you're needing of a health pack or you're in need of armor. And of course, Gordon Freeman comes equipped with a hazard suit. This hazard suit allows him to traverse through dangerous, especially radioactive materials or radioactive shenanigans from left and right, and you also can tank serious damage. Just upgrade the armor and you're good. It's a really highly advanced armor with a very limited flashlight that can recharge. Hey, good news. I will go ahead and say the game, especially after the anniversary update, is not perfect. There is some issues, and there could be possibilities of issues that end up showing up after the anniversary update, but however, you won't deal with it too much at the end of the day. Now, the biggest situation that does end up happening here are the occasional glitches, especially there's like the texture glitches, and there's the situation where you have environments get stuck, or there's like invisible wall glitches where you end up getting stuck in one area and you have to fight your way through this one weird area. It's kind of weird. And then some cinematic moments. I mean, it is I guess you can't say a 25-year-old game. I was about to say 25th. It did have its 25th anniversary, so it's a game that doesn't age well. Alright? In terms of how stable it is. But as long as Valve ends up patching out things from left and right, we should be in the good. Yes, the game, it's going to have its blocky retro graphics. Okay, it is the way that it is. But what ends up making up for it is how all out, and you should be considering retro gaming anyway, because of reasons. But it is the way that it is. But hey, there is some few occasional glitches, and that's the issue that ends up befalling. Oh, and also there is aspects of gameplay that can be rough and take a lot of getting used to. The big situation here is the platforming, and it is the way that it is. Yeah, the platforming can be a little bit rough for some people. It is the way that it is. But let's get right on going to the good, because there's plenty of it. I just want to get the bad out the way. Now let's get right on going to Half-Life. Now, Half-Life single-player campaign, which is the biggest star, yes, there is the multiplayer stuff, where you can do deathmatch, and then if you want to do team-based things other than deathmatch, there's Team Fortress and Counter-Strike, and then there's also Day of Defeat. Alright. That's their other Valve IP. That's their team-based multiplayer stuff they got going on. But the biggest star of Half-Life is the single-player campaign. And we are talking about a huge, big, lengthy, action-packed campaign for Half-Life. It is jam-packed with a lot of action and jam-packed with a lot of platforming, especially tricky platforming from left and right. And you do got a surprisingly huge amount of weapons to your that you can utilize. Yeah, you do get a whole lot of weapons compared to games that we have reviewed in Video Game Classics. Okay, you get a pistol, you get a shotgun, you get a machine gun with a grenade launcher attachment. Okay, you get grenades. Okay, you get rocket launchers. But this gets very interesting. You get a crossbow. You also get a legion of mini alien bug-like creatures which you can use to have attack other people. You have a crowbar. Of course, don't forget the crowbar. Okay? You have laser beam guns. Okay? You have a overpowered torch. And, geez, there's a whole lot of things. You can take advantage of the machine gun turrets. Or you can get a hold of the heavy weapon artillery. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, heavy weapon artillery, and start using it to save you ammo. It is the way that it is. The amount of weapons you get is very surprising, to say the least. And I'm very shocked. Like, really shocked. And also, you do have a huge, wide diversity of enemies to defend yourself against, like the iconic head crabs, that they can pretty much jump you and will attack you. And then you also have the zombies, which are the people that end up getting infected because a head crab got on their head, and that's why they're called head crabs, because they basically go on people's head, take control of the host, and mutate the host violently, and that's where you fight off those mutant zombies. You also have the Vortigaunts, which in Half-Life 2, they're your buddies, but then Half-Life 1, they're confused and they want to kill you as a result. And speaking of people who want to kill you, you also have the military. That is your military soldiers and your snipers and your assassins. And then you also have other aliens, like whatever the hell this four-legged creature is that causes serious AoE damage, and you might want to kill that fast. Kill those things really fast, by the way. And then you have those ceiling monsters. If I remember right, they're called the barnacles, and they have like a weird rope-like tentacle thing, and if they grab you, they'll drag you up and eat you from the ceiling. And you better, when you got caught by one, you better kill it fast, or you're gonna be dropping far to your death, okay? As soon as you fight them off. So yeah, you're going to want to be careful from left and right. And what other enemies do? Yes, there's other alien creatures to fight off. There's big alien monstrosities to fight off too. Yeah, things get crazy and wild. Okay. And yes, you also have to wander through a minefield. Yay, they rigged Black Mesa with explosives from left and right. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a pleasure. And of course, you're gonna be wandering through a amazingly detailed Black Mesa facility because Valve went all out when it comes to the level design. They really went all out with the level design. They really added a whole lot of detail from left to right, added in a whole bunch of stuff from left and right, and they really went all out when you do the platforming segments, when you're going through the radioactive environments from left and right, when you're basically having to go underwater and swim, and you're having to go through a whole lot of hazards and having to fight off a lot of things and having to basically deal with a lot of stuff. Oh, hey, I can't use my weapons underwater. There's an underwater creature. Hey, there's a crossbow. I can use that crossbow and fight that thing off. It is the way that it is. Hey, I got a crowbar where I can break things from left and right and break crates and get ammunition from left and right. Hell yeah. That's going to be perfect. I'm going to go smash a bunch of crates and get me extra ammo and get me extra health. There's those little health and armor recharge stations that managed to show up. You can recharge your health. You can also recharge your armor. Heck yeah. It's pretty great. And yeah, the presentation up to the sounds and monster designs and character designs, and of course you also have the designs of the weapons. You also have the music. Everything, they went all out. They really cooked, and you could see they cooked so good it won them Game of the Year awards. It is what it is. And of course, the story of Half-Life gets very interesting. Yeah, I've been noticing that I'm having to be careful with how I'm wording things so that I don't go spoiler heavy, because the game got an anniversary update, and you might want to go ahead and check that out. As a matter of fact, you should definitely be checking out. Alright. That's my final verdict. I'll talk about that again at the end of the video. But hey, it is the way that it is. But yeah, the storyline gets very intriguing. There's some very interesting hints to keep an eye out. There's been pieces of lore. You don't get cutscenes, but you do get a bunch of story-related stuff that does hit you, especially from first-person perspective. There's some story-related details that you don't want to miss out on. You might want to keep an eye out on. Like, Half-Life is pretty much packed to the brim with lore-related stuff. And you do occasionally see this guy with a suitcase that just show up out of the blue. Alright, who's this guy? Who's this guy in a suit and a suitcase? He looks weird. Very interesting. So, yeah, there is a lot of very interesting story details in terms of Half-Life 1. For $10, Half-Life 1 is definitely something you want to get. Half-Life 1 has been given so many Game of the Year awards for a reason. And, yeah, Half-Life 1 is just a really iconic experience from left and right. And if you haven't played it, go play it. It's $10. Get it. It's also, you can run it on Steam Deck too. You can also run it more easily on high-definition displays, thanks to the 25th anniversary update. You do, like, as you start the game up, you do get a training room where you can learn about the basics of how to play the game, and then you do have the campaign, but because of the 25th anniversary update, you also get a playable demo campaign, which is the Half-Life Uplink campaign, so that's very interesting from left to right. It's a really big, solid, jam-packed package that Valve said, hey, it's 25th anniversary, let's go ahead and hop on and just give this game a huge remaster treatment. Or it feels more like a remaster. They just went ahead and took the old game and then they just hit updates and made it more like it's a remaster. Yes, it's not perfect. There is some issues, a few issues, but it's a solid handling. It's a solid way of updating a game for modern things, like modern computers and Steam Decks from left to right, and that's something. Half-Life, when I ran into that, do I have it? I think I really do have it, but you know what? Here's my final verdict, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead, say my final verdict. If you haven't played it, play it. Play Half-Life, get it. Half-Life is one heck of a historically important first-person shooter game. And it's impressive. Alright, get it. Okay, if I remember things right, and I do remember getting a hold of like a big collection box by Sierra that was published by Sierra, and it would have Half-Life 1, and then 2 expansions for Half-Life, and then you have Counter-Strike, and then there was the Team Fortress. I believe it was called the Platinum Collection. Now, I'm trying to find it, and yeah, I'm trying to find it. It was the Half-Life Platinum. Yeah, it was the Half-Life Platinum Collection, and it would give Half-Life 1 the 2 expansions, the one where you play as the security guard, the one where you play as the military guy, and then there's Counter-Strike, and then Team Fortress. Alright, there's that. And then you get Half-Life. I remember getting that, and I'm trying to find it. Well, I'm having a hard time finding it, so well. Yeah, my first foray into Half-Life was basically Half-Life 1. Alright, it was like, hey, I wanted to get a new game for a computer that is outdated, it doesn't have a beefy graphics card, and I didn't know what a graphics card is, so you know what, screw it. I ended up getting Half-Life 1. It ran well. It ran well on all computers that my family had when I was a kid. And yeah, it was that Platinum Collection that would give me a whole lot of stuff from left and right. It would give me Half-Life, 2 expansions, 2 multiplayer things, Counter-Strike included, and I'm like, okay, alright, and it was the big package that would get me started in Half-Life. And yeah, and it was that Platinum Collection from Sierra, published in Sierra, I mean not published in Sierra, published by Sierra, and yeah, I feel old. To be honest with you here, I really feel old. So, yeah. Anyway, enough feeling old aside, that is all. And if you haven't played Half-Life, go play it. That's all, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.